Hi everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody, and I am back now to decorate our Father's Day mini album or envelope album or whatever you want to call this. Basically the gift that we're making for Ernest for Father's Day. So I was in charge of the assembly of the little envelope book and the decorating, and Calen was in charge of filling the envelopes with gifts or pictures or whatever he wanted to do. So I am first kind of familiarizing myself with everything that I have in this collection. It's the Goodfellas collection from Fancy Pants, and I have the tags, the flare, the 6x6 pad, the 12x12 paper collection, the ephemera pack. Let's see, the stickers and the alpha stickers. There we go. So you're going to kind of see me go through all of these. I think the front cover was the hardest for me because that's the part that you're going to see. And it was hardest for me to kind of figure out what I wanted to put on here. I also was very aware of the fact that I needed to make sure that everything on the inside of the album is fairly flat. So if I was going to use anything dimensional, it needed to be either on the front cover or the back cover, which is why I'm looking at including those flare. Now I am going to use some of the 12x12 papers as well as the 6x6 papers in this album. So I've got a front cover, a back cover, an inside of a front cover, and inside of a back cover, and then the 6 envelopes front and back. Now I decided not to decorate the back of my envelopes, only to decorate the front of my envelopes, which in this case the front are where the flap are. So this is very much a trial and error thing here. I got this new punch from Martha Stewart, and I got it from Tuesday Morning, but I'm trying to kind of figure out how to do this, and I end up figuring out how to do a small doily, and I'm going to put it right here on the front cover. First I create a really tiny doily, but I'm actually going to create a larger one here. Alright, now that I've got that kind of figured out, I just kind of trimmed it out around the edges where it's not perfectly punched. I will still kind of work with that and figure out how to make that work a little bit better, but overall I'm really pleased with this little tiny doily. I think it's so cute. I have purchased some larger doilies, some I guess 3.5-inch doilies, and some 6-inch doilies, and I think some 4.5-inch doilies from Amazon, but this is a really nice alternative for a tiny doily. I think it is absolutely adorable, and I think I'm going to go ahead and go through my scrap bin and just punch out a bunch of them so I can have them in my stash to work with because they are adorable. I love them. So I'm going to layer one on top of the front cover here. I've cut that 6x6 paper down just to kind of fit on the front. I wanted you to still be able to see the arrows, but of course I wanted to have some color on the front. I took one of those tags that said Happy Father's Day, and I layered just a piece of the 6x6 paper from the 6x6 pad behind it just to add some definition behind it. And then I took that tag that says Incredible Daddy, and that's going to also layer here on the front of the mini album. So it had some white twine in it, but I wanted to pull in a little bit of that darker paper that is under the Happy Father's Day tag, and I am pulling just some embroidery floss from my stash to also include there. So these are the stickers that are in the kit that I have put together here, and I purchased this kit again from steals.com. If you missed that when I purchased it, it was like a I want to say it was like 75% off, and then they had free shipping. So I went ahead and just took advantage of that and purchased both the card kit, which is the 6x6 paper, and then I think like the tags or something. And then I also purchased the 12x12 scrapbook collection as well. Kind of rearranging this here. I liked the banner, but if I put that #1 best guy to the left of that, it made the left side of this very heavy because that's also where the tag is. So I needed to kind of distribute the weight of the elements on the front, and that's why I ended up moving that little label over and layering my flare on top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and create a mat for the inside of the front cover as well. I liked decorating the inside of the cover. I thought that was kind of a clever way to include some things, again, without being too overly embellished, because this, again, is a gift from Calen. I'm just assisting in it, but a gift from Calen to his dad, Ernest, which is my husband. And so I wanted to keep it, fairly manly still and not so overly embellished. The whole purpose of this gift was was to just make something that was a little bit more interactive, not just, a present that's wrapped up, but something that can be, opened and kind of played with for a little bit. And then also it's something that he can keep as a memory as well. So I've got this tag that says for dad, and then I'm going to put from Calen basically on here. And I'm going to use, again, that darker piece from the 6x6 pad. And I've got all the ephemera pieces laid out here on my desk. You just can't see all of them in the screen, but they are all laid here on my desk, so I can see them as I'm kind of creating, just to see what draws my attention. And I do have a few that are up on the top that you can't see that don't really apply, like the ones that say grandfather, or I think there's a few that say stepfather and things like that. So those don't really apply. However, I can use them on the back or whatnot if I want to flip them over and just use the back side of it. So I've still got them all laid out here on my desk just in case. So then it says, from Calen, and then it says a father's love on the bottom. So now on to the first envelope, and then that top one says Happy Grandfather's Day, and this is where, as I'm going through the little embellishments, I am putting the ones that don't apply up here at the top. And then those little postage stamps, if they don't apply, I can always flip them over and use the back side where it's just white, but it has the postage stamp shape. So there's also the cut apart sheet from the 6x6 pad, and I noticed a few of the pages in the 6x6 pad have a somewhat of a white border on the side of them, where it just doesn't look like they were properly trimmed out whenever they were printed. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the top of that Best Dad Ever. It was a tag, but I ended up just using it as like an embellishment piece instead of as a tag. There are a ton of die cuts in this collection, and I think it's a lot of fun because you can use them for many different projects. Even though I used this entire collection for this project, that's the whole reason I had purchased it, I still have a ton of it left. So if I want to make another project with it, I'm more than able to. So I have this one that just says father, and then I'm using it kind of as a pull tab or a flip tab, and then I'm also going to put one on the back that says son. So there we go. And I am not necessarily going in order. I decided to go ahead and go to my back cover here to see what I could put there. I have this For You From Me tag, and then also have some XOXO pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and layer these on the inside of the back cover, just to go ahead and decorate that. I do have 6 envelopes, and I very well could have decorated both the front and the back of each envelope. But again, I'm trying to make this envelope or this album as flat as possible, because I didn't really I didn't build in much room for embellishments. Or really gifts, if you think about it. I could have, and I have actually since made another album to give someone else for their birthday. I can't say because that person might be watching. So I have since made another album, and I had allowed for a little bit more space around the envelope. So if I do kind of embellish them a little bit more, the album will kind of grow to fit that. Just layering a few little banners, and then I had put XOXO, and I'm using these little alpha stickers, which I believe are from a Fancy Pants collection, just a different one. They came in a 12x12 a set of alphas, and I just cut them apart so I could use just the single color. I find it a lot easier to use a little I think it's like 3x6 inch piece of stickers versus a whole 12x12 sheet of them. I'm just kind of reinforcing these. I'm reinforcing a lot of things in this album with some Tombow Mono multi-glue. Anything, especially like those puffy stickers, anything that can kind of be moved around, and as you saw me testing it with my tweezers, anything that can be moved around, I am going ahead and reinforcing it. Wow, I couldn't think of that word. And on the back, I just put Father's Day 2017. I like a lot of the motifs that are kind of reappearing in this collection. There's a lot of mustaches, a lot of glasses, a lot of ties. I just think they're so cute. I think it's very clever to include all of those. And I like this little guy, but he was quite large and it was going to be covered up too much by the envelope flap, so I'm just kind of trimming him down. Still exactly the same, just taking off a little bit of that excess white border that's around it. And I'm sorry if this seems like it's going fairly quickly, but I didn't want to, all I'm doing is embellishing, and it's very simple embellishing. It's nothing real fancy, so I didn't want to have too much time spent on this because I feel like you won't sit through and watch it, and that's fine if you don't, but I do at least want to try to make this useful. I'm also, if you notice, trying to vary where I'm putting the embellishments on the envelopes. And I'm also kind of including a few little bits of washi tape. This is just a silver and white polka dot. And I'm just kind of, so the envelopes themselves are actually scallop envelopes, as you can see, and I really like the shape of them. They're a lot, I find it a lot more interesting to look at these than just plain envelopes. Now, you can very well just use plain envelopes, but keep an eye out at your craft stores and at your office supply stores. I have found some really cool looking envelopes in different places, places that you might not normally have thought that you would find them. Just something, you know, where I'm finding different things, and I grab funky envelopes when I can find them because I just think they're fun. I figure I will use them at some point. So, and if they're a fairly decent price, I pick them up because, again, envelopes can be quite expensive, but they are on sale all the time. You just have to find them. Keep an eye out for them. I feel like I'm using a lot of things on this project, but in the end, it's funny. I have so much of this collection left, and I don't know what else I'm going to use it for, but I'm sure I'll find a project to work with it. And I really like the colors that are in here, and it's funny because I don't normally scrapbook with green or yellow quite so much, and I scrapbook with a lot. Not yellow. Orange. I don't scrapbook a lot of green or orange. I actually really like to scrapbook yellow. Like the sunshiny yellow. And I'm actually going back and adding this arrow. I wanted to add it there, but it just kind of, I don't know. It says father and friend on that one. And that one says dad. And I'll do a quick flip through at the very end showing each of the pages. I don't have photos of every single page, but I do have a couple close-up photos at the bottom that I will share with you. I was being kind of fiddly with this for no reason, truly no reason at all. Just wanted to add a little bit of a darker color down here. And then I end up adding a little bit of a tag to kind of fill in. I felt like it had a weird space beside that dad puffy sticker. So I end up taking a little bit of orange and making it look like that this other one is a banner that goes all the way behind that puffy sticker, and it does not. I don't know why it was. I don't know why I felt like I needed to add that, but I do like the way that it looked. I want to use these glasses, but I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be able to make them work. I think they're really fun. So I pulled out my photo labels punch, and I'm just going to layer this awesome puffy sticker on top of it. And I had to step away for a moment, so I come back to it, and then I decide, and that also I had to step away for another reason, but sometimes when you're in the middle of a project, it's nice to be able to kind of take a break and step away for just a moment and kind of refocus on what you're doing. And this was kind of, I was starting to kind of feel like I was doing the same thing over and over again. So this was kind of nice to step away just for a moment and see what else I could create or what else I could come up with. So I'm going to put a little bit of washi tape behind this. It's just a white and silver glitter washi tape. And then I've got this awesome sticker. And then I'm also going to add this little word strip as well. And it says, just as boys. And I'm going to add a little puffy heart right there. Super cute. And I keep making sure that each of the flaps, and see, I keep going back and forth to all the pages just to kind of see what else, you know, make sure they're not all exactly the same. And then this is the last page here. And so this one's going to be fairly simply embellished, but I like this greatest ever. And then I also, of course, I keep trying to use that puffy arrow, so I find a way to use it on this page. And I don't know what that little half circle was. It almost looks like an orange slice to me. I don't think that's what it's supposed to be, but that's what it looks like to me. finishing off the very top here, and then I'll kind of flip through to see if there's anything else that I want to add. Also, just to make sure that it's not too incredibly puffy or thick. The puffy stickers made me think puffy for some reason right there. But I want to make sure that the album's not too thick, but that you can, of course, open each and every page. And this is an instance where I'm using the back of one of those little like postage stamp pieces, one that did not apply to this. I'm just using the back of it as more as the shape. Just felt like it needed a little something at the top. And I felt like this one needed something too. It's funny, when I don't have anything on the flap, it looks blank to me. So I'm just going back and adding a few things. None of this is totally necessary, but I just wanted to add a couple things to make it feel complete. So flipping through one more time, I'm done. I just wanted to make sure the album kind of stood up on its own if I wanted to. And let me show you now each and every page. So it's going to be very simple. I'm just going to show you each page. I've got the For Dad from Calen, A Father's Love, Hero, Father's Day, Best Dad Ever. Just kind of reading some of the sentiments to you, and that says S is for Son. Best Dad, an award, and a little man with a mustache and glasses. Father and Friend, Dad, You and Me, My Guy, Favorite Friend, Dad is Rad. Just Us Boys, Awesome. Greatest Ever. And then For You, Love, Calen. And then on the back, it also says Father's Day 2017. So that is my little album. And then Calen is going to fill it full of presents and gift cards and pictures and a card that he made and everything else. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys found this inspirational, just creative, a way of doing something a little bit different. And thanks for joining. All right, guys. Bye.